Hello dear children, today we can discuss Bassey Ikpi's poem Homeward. Bassey Ikpi is a Nigerian-born American spoken word poet, writer and a mental health advocate. Bassey Ikpi is a Nigerian-born American spoken word. She is a spoken word. She is reciting her poems in open stages and a writer and mental health advocate. She has appeared on HBO Russell Simon's Presents Duck Poetry 5 times, and her poetry has opened shows for Grammy Award and the writing artist. So her poems was being selected for Grammy awards and several other awards also she bagged. She was born on 3rd August 1976. That means now she has got the age of 44. And the major books are I Am Telling the Truth, But I Am Lying, and several essays are there. The movies based on her works are The Skinny, Barriers, etc. Then she, at the age of 4, Ikpi has to leave Nigeria to join her parents in Oklahoma, United States. So it's about the life of Bassey Ikpi. At the age of 4, at a young age, she was forced to leave Nigeria and want to join Oklahoma in United States with her parents. However, she was never be able to let go her Nigerian identity. So we all are the same, right? We love our native and we don't want to go out of the native. Most people are like that, but many nowadays we are seeing that they are migrating to other nations. They are imbibing the culture of the other nation. They will forcefully forget their mother tongue. That contradictory aspects that we are seeing nowadays. But Bassey Ikpi, unlike those people, love her native so much. She became interested in performing her poetry while studying English at University of Maryland. So while studying in University of Maryland, she wrote poetry. Her histrionic skills helped her to excel in the fields of performance poetry. So her performance skill made her more public in performance poetry. She suffered from bipolar disorder and later on found Sign Project to promote mental health among people. So she herself was suffered from bipolar disorder. So afterwards, having that medical aids, having that medical treatments, she became an advocate of this same mental health care. Sometimes silence is the loudest kind of noise, she says. So silence has more power than words that we are hearing, right? So she was saying that sometimes, and the another saying is that silence is golden. So the silence is the loudest kind of noise that she always says. And she also published a collection of essays titled I Am Telling the Truth, But I Am Lying, as the effect of psychic problems. So the midst of psychic problems, she wrote several essays also. Then coming to the poem. In this poem, she wants to recollect her memories about her grandmother who loved her so much, and she regretted in the end. So let's see what happened. Today I remember my grandmother. ഇന്ന് എൻ്റെ ഗ്രാൻഡ് ഞാൻ ഓർത്തു. As she attempts to connect with her second children means grandchildren. She was actually struggling to handle her grandchildren. She attempts many times to connect with them. She finds the only English word she knows from somewhere hidden in the belly of her 4 foot and 9 inch body. So Ikpi was saying about the physique of her grandmother. It was 4 foot and a 9 inch body. So she was struggling to make that sounds in English to cope up with those grandchildren brought up in America. And instead Avonke, she greets us with the bye bye. So in Avonke African language, it means it means the greetings or the welcome word. But instead of that welcome word, she was using the English word bye bye, beckoning us into the thin clay colored arms. She was black. Nigeria was black. Nigerian people was black. So that clay colored arms, that clay itself signifies the lifestyle of that poor people who was always working in clay and the mud and earth. She has my mother's face etched with the time. Tears that may from eyes with the wide and dark like mine. We knew that American women, American people has that wide eyes and dark wide eyes. So always she was like my mother, and also the familiarity of my facial figures. I walked into these arms. So while coming from America, I was struggling. I was hurrying to go to her arms, the ones that mothered my mother. She was the mother of my mother. So I'm very much interested to go to that arms which mothered my mother. Taught her how to mother me. She taught my mother how to mother me. Inhaled the history from her skin. So the history of Nigeria, history of Africa, they were inhaling from the skin of the ancestors, from the skin of the grandparents. She reminds me of the little girl, bow-legged and round-faced, holding roasted corn in one hand. So at the time when Ikpi was having that teenage, she always reminded, grandmother always reminded her of the small child, small child who were there with her long years ago. She was saying that she was having bow-legged, round-faced, always holding corn in one hand and a fistful of chin-chin in the other. Chin-chin is one of the food items. So the fistful of chin-chin in the other hand, still begging for orange Fanta to wash it all down. So always Ikpi was demanding the orange Fanta to have it, to gulp all that things, to swallow all that solid items into the belly. I remember her voice firm. We knew that grandmother's voices are sometimes very harsh. Likewise, Ikpi's grandmother has also got a firm voice, yet loving. Ma Bassey agya vai. So in the African language, my grandmother was saying, you must eat then drink. First you can eat then drink. Don't do that simultaneously. Sometimes I forget, but she remembers the small scared girl. So in America, sometimes I have lost that memories of that scared girl who were there in Nigeria. But at the time when they were meeting, grandmother always make her remember about the small children, small scared girl who was always interested in eating and drinking, carried away on an iron bird to America. So grandmother was thinking that the aeroplane, an iron bird, was carrying the girl to America. Seems like the same bird has returned on to replace her. So the same plane had returned Ikpi, that perfect girl with me. So grandmother was thinking that now her grandchild becomes perfect. The strange tongue-tied woman, the one that can barely say hello. So she was saying that now she could meet the strange women there who could barely say hello. But she was in the midst of that dilemma, whether to accept English, whether to accept Nigeria, or she was always thinking how to forget Nigerian culture, how to forget Nigerian earth. So she was always in between the two cultures. She doesn't want to accept American culture. She doesn't want to go off Nigerian culture. So the dilemma is very much seen in the mind. So that made herself a bipolar victim. Then and will hear it if when it calls them. My heart still holds on the salt and clay of Ugab. Ugab as the place of Nigeria. And Bassey was saying that her heart still holds the taste and salt of Ugab. The smell of the earth of Ugab was still there in the heart of her. The strength of our women isn't lost in me, but sometimes I forget and find it difficult to walk in barefoot. So we all knew that American people are always having the bossy nature of dressing up, of having high-heeled chappals, and they always want to show off their external appearance. So unlike them, African people, African women are having heels with heels very strong, but not beautiful, or but not sophisticated as that of American ladies. So sometimes the basic people found it difficult to walk in barefoot. That Nigerian women were easily doing, afraid to remember what history feels like, dust and covered and peeking from brown toes. Brown toes they were having, the women and the men of Nigeria were having brown toes because they were always in the fields, they were always with mud, they were always with earth. So she was sometimes afraid to remember. She was now living with high heels, socks, shoes, etc. So sometimes the fear is in her mind whether to remember that brown toes or not. Oklahoma, DC, Brooklyn will not help me remember. So those all are states of America. So Basic doesn't want to remember these places. Ikom, Ugap and Calabar, those are places in Nigeria. So she wants to remember those places. They will also not let me forget finger sticky with the fufu. Fufu is another food item. So she was always tasting it by licking the fingers. Always she wants to recollect the memories of that taste of the food that she had. But I have lost the grit and grain of my grandmother's gari. Gari is another food item. But as years are passing, I am losing that taste of the grit and grain that of the grandmother's gari. I can't taste past this nostalgic lump in my throat. So whenever we are thinking about my native, when we are out of my native place, and when we are thinking about our native, a lump or a block will, that emotional block will come with, and we don't know how to explain that, whether it is pain or sorrow or happiness. So that lump in my throat is sometimes missing. Can't stomach the reality of this divided culture, African American. So the indigestible it is. I can't digest the culture of America. I want to live with the essence of Nigeria. So the mixed culture, the reality, it is not at all digesting my stomach. I am everything and I am nothing. So she was saying that by the same time I am everything and I am nothing. I feel that I am everything but I am nothing. Nigeria quietly begs me to remember. So my native place Nigeria is begging me to remember her. Our motherland is always loving us, so always seeking our love towards the place, while America slowly urges me to forget. America always forces her to forget the same place. But it's for my past, it's for my future and for my children. But at last Ikpi decided to forget American culture to receive Nigeria, and she came back from United States to Nigeria, and now she is living in Nigeria for her past, for her ancestors, for her present for her children and for the future generation. And it is for you, grandmother. So she was starting the poem with the grandmother. She was ending the poem with the grandmother's thought. And the unfortunate thing is that she couldn't be able to attend the funeral function of her beloved grandmother. That I must always be here in the Nigeria forever. And at the end of the poem, Bassey Ikpi was giving a promise to her grandmother never to go back again to America. So that's it, a wonderful poem. And the Bassey Ikpi was sharing her emotions, sharing her helplessness, sharing her feelings and emotions, sharing her sentiments, everything. She was saying that she is everything and sometimes she is nothing. So she prefers the frankness of Nigerian villagers. She doesn't want to be a hypocrite. We all knew that the culture, or actually said by Gabriel Okara in the poem, always the Englishman had that hypocrisy. While and he was citing some examples also there. While greeting someone, we should say happy to meet you, but in the mind we are not feeling happy. So that hypocrisy we was hating so much. And she wants to be a true person like her people in Nigeria. In Nigeria, there is more love among family members and relatives. What is found, and it is not found in Western culture. So love and care is mostly seen in African people, and that is lacking in American people. Western culture is a mechanical. Western culture seems to be so mechanical. They always love money, luxuries, life, and they are hypocrites. Nigerian culture is more frank, sincere, and the warmth of relationship they are maintaining within. They respect elders. Moreover, like our Indian culture, they are giving more importance to elder people. They are loving their ancestors. If we were saying about the clay-colored arms, if we were saying about the grey foot, grey toes. So they were loving their elders very much, but unlike these people, the Westerners are always thinking about dumping their elders, dumping their parents to old age homes. That we could see in Corona times in Italy. Many old people died in the old age homes because their custom is that after attaining some age, the children were sending their parents to old age homes. So but nowadays it's not at all popular in our culture, and we are not expecting the same to grow also. We are here because of the sweat and blood or the hard work of our parents. Their sleeplessness is making us here. Their love is making us here. Their care is making us here to talk and smile. So we mustn't forget elders, our ancestors, their pain, that we should always remember. So Ikpi wants to come to the ancestors. So from this poem, we are getting the message to be happy with our native place. We don't want to forget all the blessings that we had from our native. Wherever we are, we should remember our parents, we should remember our ancestors, we should remember the hard work they made us today. So it's a beautiful poem, it's a beautiful message. So I think you got the point, and I think you enjoyed the poem. And literature is not what Bassey Ikpi or any writer was saying. It is not what I am saying. It is what is happening inside your brain. It is it is how you are interpreting literature. So think more and more, kindle the thoughts of everything that you are hearing in literature in your brain, and come out with more and more points, come out with more and more opinions, come out with more and more thoughts, interpretations. Make your exam paper a different one from the other, and score high marks Hope you enjoyed my session. We can meet again with another beautiful literature session. Thank you so much. Love you all. Bye from VT Raghunath.